A young nurse cares for a millionaire in a coma, facing disdain from his wife. Hey there, wonderful people. Welcome back to Stories TH, your go-to spot for fascinating millionaire stories that might just surprise you. Today's video dives deep into an incredible tale that you won't see coming, so buckle up and maybe keep a snack handy, because things might get unexpectedly interesting. Before we get started, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to Stories TH for more amazing stories just like this. Also, drop a comment below telling us where you're watching from and what time it is. Let's see how far our millionaire stories travel around the world. Now, sit back, relax, and get ready to be inspired by a story that proves truth is often stranger than fiction. Jessica Reed's heart pounded as she pulled up to the wrought iron gates of the Whitman estate. The mansion loomed before her, a sprawling, almost intimidating fortress of glass and stone nestled among perfectly manicured gardens. The early morning sun cast long shadows over the driveway, but to Jessica, the light felt cold, almost sterile, reflecting the emotional chill she sensed even before stepping inside. This was no ordinary nursing job. At 28, Jessica had cared for countless patients, but none like Jonathan Whitman, billionaire CEO and once a titan of industry, now trapped in a vegetative state. The accident that put him there had been headline news, a luxury car crash on a rain-slick highway, a life paused abruptly. Now, she was charged with the impossible, to care for a man whose mind was locked behind silence and stillness. Jessica adjusted her crisp white uniform, took a deep breath, and stepped through the gates. The air smelled faintly of roses and freshly cut grass, but beneath that, there was a subtle scent of antiseptic and something colder unspoken tension. She was greeted by the estate's butler, a tall man with a face as immovable as the marble pillars flanking the front door. "Miss Reed," he said, voice clipped but respectful. "Mrs. Whitman is expecting you in the study." As Jessica followed the butler through corridors lined with priceless art and rich mahogany panels, her mind raced. This wasn't just a job, it was a crucible, and she felt the weight of unseen eyes, judging every step, every breath. The study's door opened to reveal Miranda Whitman, a woman in her early 40s with steel-gray eyes and a smile that didn't quite reach them. Her designer suit was impeccable, her posture regal, yet cold. She measured Jessica with a look that was part appraisal, part challenge. "I hope you understand the gravity of the responsibility you're undertaking," Miranda said, her tone as polished as the marble floor beneath their feet. "Jonathan requires constant, meticulous care. Any negligence, and you will be out the door." Jessica met Miranda's gaze steadily. "I understand completely, Mrs. Whitman. I'm here to do everything in my power to help Jonathan." Miranda's eyes flickered, almost amused. "Very well. James will show you to your quarters. You'll have Sundays off, but be aware any deviation from protocol won't be tolerated." After the tense meeting, Jessica was led to the wing, where Jonathan's room awaited a vast clinical space, outfitted with the latest medical technology. There he lay, pale and still, a man frozen in time. Jessica knelt beside the bed, careful not to disturb the countless monitors and tubes, and whispered softly, "Hello, Jonathan. I'm Jessica. I'm here." Her voice felt fragile in the silence, but even so, she thought she caught the faintest twitch of a finger. Perhaps it was hope, or the mind's desperate yearning to believe. As night fell over the mansion, Jessica sat by Jonathan's side, reading through his medical records by the pale glow of a desk lamp. She felt an odd connection, a silent promise to fight for this man's return. Outside, the full moon cast a silver light over the gardens, as if blessing this unlikely pact. The next morning, she began her routine with a gentle optimism that belied the immense challenge ahead. Opening the curtains, she let sunlight spill across Jonathan's face and played soft classical music, Mozart, his favorite, according to the butler. It was a small rebellion against the sterile emptiness of the room. Then came the subtle shifts, a change in heart rhythm, a twitch of a muscle, not enough to herald a miracle, but enough to ignite a flicker of determination. Jessica knew the road ahead would be long and fraught with obstacles, not least from Miranda's watchful eyes. But in that moment, holding Jonathan's hand, she made a silent vow to herself. She would be the bridge from silence to voice, from darkness to light. Because sometimes the greatest miracles begin with a whisper. The next morning dawned crisp and clear, sunlight filtering softly through the heavy curtains of Jonathan's room. Jessica woke early, her mind already racing with thoughts and plans. After a restless night filled with hopeful anticipation and quiet prayers, she was ready to begin her work in earnest. Jonathan's room, despite its luxurious size and elegant furnishings, felt sterile and cold, an antiseptic prison for a man trapped between worlds. The walls bore portraits of a life lived in motion, yet here, time seemed frozen. Jessica resolved to change that. Starting with the basics, she opened the curtains wide, flooding the room with natural light. "Good morning, Jonathan," she whispered gently, brushing a stray lock of hair from his forehead. "It's a beautiful day outside. The garden is blooming, you'd love it." As she adjusted the monitors and administered the usual care routines, Jessica hummed a soft melody. Music had always been a part of her healing toolkit, a way to reach beyond the physical and touch the soul. She carefully played a Mozart concerto, the delicate notes filling the room like a gentle breeze. A subtle change flickered on the monitor. His heart rate, usually steady but unremarkable, showed a faint uptick. Jessica's breath caught. Was it the music? A flicker of recognition in that still body? But then, the door opened abruptly, and Miranda swept into the room, her high heels clicking sharply against the marble floor. Jessica stiffened, wary of the icy scrutiny that always accompanied the woman's presence. "I see you've already begun your work," Miranda said, her voice cool but laced with a hint of challenge. "I'm leaving for a business trip next week. I expect everything to remain exactly as it was when I return." Jessica nodded, keeping her tone steady. "Of course, Mrs. Whitman, your husband will be in good hands." Miranda's gaze barely lingered on Jonathan before she turned on her heel, the scent of her expensive perfume lingering like a warning. Alone again, Jessica turned back to Jonathan, her heart swelling with determination. She decided that conventional care wouldn't be enough. To reach Jonathan, she needed to rekindle the memories that defined him, the smells, the sounds, the tactile sensations that once filled his life with meaning. First, she rearranged the room, moving the bed closer to the window to let him feel the warmth of the sun on his skin. She brought in framed photographs from his office and home snapshots of triumphant moments, a smile frozen in time, the sleek lines of his prized horses. Then came Leo, Jonathan's Russian blue cat, who had been sent away after the accident. With the butler's discreet help, Leo was returned to the estate. Jessica watched as the cat, elegant and poised, padded into the room and immediately found his way to Jonathan's side. The changes were almost instantaneous. Jonathan's vital signs responded visibly to Leo's presence. His breathing deepened. His fingers twitched faintly. Jessica's eyes brimmed with tears. "Leo's here, Jonathan. Remember?" Days turned into weeks as Jessica wove a tapestry of sensory experiences around Jonathan: music therapy, aromatherapy with familiar scents of leather and cologne, storytelling sessions where she shared glimpses of her own life, and the small comforts of companionship. The breakthrough came when, during one afternoon on the balcony, a forbidden indulgence, Jonathan's fingers moved deliberately, trying to grasp the warmth of sunlight and the breeze. Jessica held his hand, voice steady but filled with emotion, encouraging him to try again. Unexpectedly, Miranda returned early from her trip, catching the household off guard. Shock and disbelief painted her features as she witnessed Jonathan's progress and Jessica's unauthorized innovations. Their confrontation was tense and fraught with unspoken fears, jealousy, control, and the painful realization that the marriage she thought was unbreakable had been a facade. Miranda's revelations about the transactional nature of their union added emotional complexity to an already fragile situation. Jessica, however, stood firm, her focus unwavering on Jonathan's recovery. She became the bridge between estranged hearts, using memories and moments to stitch together the broken fabric of the Whitman family. A clandestine visit to Jonathan's equestrian club marked a pivotal moment. Surrounded by the scents, sounds, and familiar presence of his favorite horse, Jonathan's eyes fluttered open fully for the first time in over a year. His first words, though faint, reverberated through the room and hearts alike. The medical team, led by Dr. Harrison, confirmed the miraculous progress, fueling cautious optimism throughout the estate. Yet, the journey was not without struggle. Jonathan wrestled with his frustration, his mind trapped in a body that betrayed him. Miranda's lingering bitterness and conflicted emotions threatened the fragile peace they were building. Slowly, an unexpected family dynamic emerged. Jessica, Jonathan, and even Miranda began to transform from adversaries into allies, united by hope and a shared desire for healing. Together, they envisioned a future beyond the mansion walls. The founding of a neurological rehabilitation center dedicated to those others had given up on. This vision was soon complemented by a joyous announcement: Miranda's pregnancy, symbolizing renewal, forgiveness, and the power of second chances. Jessica found herself woven deeply into their lives, not just as a caregiver, but as family. The Whitman story, marked by resilience, love, and transformation, became a beacon of hope far beyond the confines of their estate. And as Jessica looked toward the future, she understood that their journey had only just begun. In the weeks following Miranda's return and the unfolding revelations about her marriage, the atmosphere at the Whitman estate shifted dramatically. The cold distance that had once permeated every room was beginning to thaw, replaced by an uneasy but genuine sense of connection. Jessica found herself at the heart of this transformation, no longer just a nurse, but a confidant, mediator, and catalyst for change. Jonathan's awakening brought with it not only physical progress, but also emotional upheaval. Frustration gnawed at him, sharp and relentless, as he struggled against the confines of his weakened body. One afternoon, during a particularly grueling therapy session, his exhaustion erupted into a rare outburst. "I can't do this anymore," he exclaimed, his voice cracking with pain and anger. "I'm trapped in this shell, this prison. What kind of life is this?" Jessica paused, her heart aching as she watched the man she had come to admire so deeply grapple with his own limitations. She stepped closer, her voice calm but firm. "Jonathan, I know this is hard, but every small step you take is a victory. You're stronger than you realize." Just then, Thomas, the butler, approached quietly. His usually reserved demeanor softened as he spoke. "Sir, if I may, the man you were before would have never given up. The man you are now has fought through more than most could imagine. You've already come so far." Jonathan took a deep breath, the anger giving way to tears of frustration and hope mingled. "Thank you, Thomas," he whispered. Meanwhile, Miranda was wrestling with her own demons. The facade of strength she had maintained for so long was cracking under the weight of guilt and regret. One evening, she sought Jessica out in the study, her eyes shadowed but sincere. "I never thanked you," she began hesitantly. "Not just for what you're doing for Jonathan, but for what you're doing for me, helping me see what I've been blind to." Jessica smiled softly. "It's never too late to start over, Miranda." Their conversation marked a turning point. Miranda gradually began to shed her defensive armor, embracing her role in Jonathan's recovery with a newfound warmth and dedication. She spent hours by his bedside, reading to him, sharing memories, and even laughing softly at inside jokes only they remembered. Together, the three forged a fragile but promising family unit. Inspired by Jonathan's remarkable recovery and the emotional healing unfolding within the Whitman household, Jessica proposed an ambitious idea: to establish a neurological rehabilitation foundation dedicated to patients like Jonathan, those the world had given up on. Jonathan, with his characteristic determination, embraced the vision. "We've been given a second chance," he said during a meeting with Jessica and Miranda. "It's only right we give others the same hope." The foundation's creation became a shared mission, uniting medical experts, investors, and the Whitman family in a cause larger than themselves. Amidst this renewed purpose, joy blossomed. Miranda's pregnancy became a symbol of hope and renewal, a promise that life could begin anew, even after profound loss. Jessica was invited not just to lead the foundation, but to become godmother to the child, a role she accepted with humble gratitude. Years passed, and the Whitman estate transformed. The once silent mansion overflowed with life, laughter, and hope. Emma, the daughter born into this new chapter, grew into a compassionate and intelligent young woman, inspiring all who knew her. Jessica's role evolved from caregiver to leader, her work at the foundation recognized worldwide for its groundbreaking approach to neurorehabilitation. She often reflected on the journey that began with a single act of faith, the decision to believe in a man left for lost. Through love, perseverance, and the relentless pursuit of hope, they had rewritten their stories. One evening, as the sun set over the estate's gardens, Jessica sat with Jonathan and Miranda on the veranda, hands clasped and hearts full. They spoke softly of the future of challenges yet to come, of memories forged in hardship, and of the enduring power of human connection. Their story was a testament to the truth that sometimes the greatest miracles are not just those of the body, but of the spirit. As autumn deepened its golden embrace over the Whitman estate, the atmosphere within the mansion blossomed with newfound warmth and possibility. The house that once echoed with silence now buzzed with activity doctors, therapists, family members, and Jessica moving seamlessly through its halls, all united in a shared mission of healing and hope. Jonathan's progress was remarkable. With each passing day, he regained more control over his body, his once sluggish movements becoming purposeful and deliberate. The medical team marveled as he stood briefly with the help of a walker, his eyes shining with determination that belied his physical frailty. Elizabeth, who had once been a distant and detached figure in Jonathan's life, transformed alongside him. Her icy exterior softened into genuine care and affection. She found herself spending more time at the mansion, balancing her demanding business commitments with a growing desire to support Jonathan's recovery. One crisp October morning, Jessica entered Jonathan's room to find him already awake, sitting upright with pillows propping his back. Leo, the Russian blue cat who had been a constant companion throughout the journey, nestled comfortably in Jonathan's lap. "Good morning, Jessica," Jonathan greeted, his voice hoarse but filled with warmth. Jessica smiled, feeling the familiar surge of pride and hope. "Good morning, Jonathan. Ready to try something new today?" Jonathan nodded, his eyes sparkling with anticipation. Plans were underway for a carefully orchestrated outing the first time Jonathan would leave the mansion since his accident. Jessica and the team had arranged for a wheelchair and all necessary medical support to take him to the garden, a place filled with memories and life. Elizabeth arrived shortly after Jessica, dressed elegantly for a business meeting. Jessica updated her on Jonathan's wish to spend time outside, noticing the flicker of apprehension in Elizabeth's eyes. "Is it safe?" Elizabeth asked, concern etching her features. "With the proper precautions, yes," Jessica assured, "and I thought you might want to be present for this moment." Elizabeth hesitated, glancing at her expensive wristwatch. Then, to Jessica's surprise, she began to remove her blazer. "The meeting can wait. This is more important." Together, they carefully transported Jonathan through the mansion's ornate corridors to the veranda overlooking the gardens. The scent of blooming roses and freshly cut grass filled the air, a sensory tapestry woven from the threads of Jonathan's past and present. Jonathan closed his eyes, allowing the autumn sun to caress his face. A solitary tear traced a path down his cheek, a silent testament to the beauty and pain of rediscovery. Elizabeth knelt beside him, her own eyes glistening with unshed tears. "I'm so sorry it took so long to bring you here," she whispered. Jonathan smiled softly. "We're here now. That's what matters." The outing became a regular ritual, each visit to the garden strengthening Jonathan's physical and emotional presence. His speech gradually improved. What began as weak murmurs grew into short, meaningful phrases. Jessica documented every small victory, every flicker of consciousness, knowing that these moments were the building blocks of a miracle. The medical team, led by Dr. Harrison, watched with cautious optimism as Jonathan's neurological responses defied expectations. Yet, the journey was not without its challenges. There were days when frustration overwhelmed Jonathan, when the weight of his limitations threatened to crush his spirit. Elizabeth, too, faced moments of doubt, and old patterns of detachment resurfaced. In these times, Jessica's unwavering dedication was the anchor that held them all together. One afternoon, after a particularly tough therapy session, Jonathan's pent-up emotions exploded in a rare outburst of anger. "I can't take this anymore. I'm trapped in a body that won't obey." Jessica approached gently, her voice steady and compassionate. It's okay to feel that way, Jonathan. Healing isn't linear. We're here with you, every step of the way. Elizabeth, witnessing the moment, felt her own defenses crumble. The shared vulnerability between them marked the beginning of a deeper connection. Amidst the physical and emotional healing, the idea of the Neurological Rehabilitation Foundation blossomed. Jessica, Jonathan, and Elizabeth envisioned a place where others could find hope and support, a beacon for those abandoned by conventional medicine. The foundation's launch was a testament to their collective resilience, attracting support from investors, medical professionals, and families inspired by their story. As winter's chill gave way to spring's promise, the Whitman estate transformed once more. Jonathan's mobility improved. He walked short distances with assistance, his voice clear and filled with life. Elizabeth's artistic talents flourished, her paintings capturing the emotional journey they had endured. Jessica found love unexpectedly during a medical conference abroad, a partnership rooted in shared passion and mutual respect, enriching her life beyond her work. Together, they continued to build a legacy, a narrative of hope, perseverance, and the transformative power of love. On a warm spring evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of pink and gold, Jessica sat with Jonathan and Elizabeth on the veranda. Their hands clasped, hearts full, they reflected on the journey that had brought them here. Jonathan's voice, steady and strong, broke the comfortable silence. "We started with nothing but hope. Now, we have everything." Elizabeth nodded, her eyes shining with tears of gratitude. "And it's only just the beginning." Jessica smiled, feeling the profound truth of their shared story, that sometimes the greatest miracles are born not from wealth or power, but from faith, love, and the courage to believe in second chances. Spring's gentle arrival breathed new life into the Whitman estate, mirroring the transformation unfolding within its walls. The gardens bloomed with vibrant colors, their fragrances mingling with the fresh optimism that hung in the air. Inside, the mansion hummed with renewed energy, each room a testament to hope, healing, and the enduring strength of human connection. Jonathan Whitman, once confined to silence and stillness, was now an emblem of perseverance. His daily routines, once defined by passive care, had shifted to active engagement. Supported by therapists and the unwavering presence of Jessica, he practiced walking short distances with a cane, each step a defiant declaration against the odds that had once condemned him. Jessica observed him during a physiotherapy session one crisp morning. Jonathan struggled to fasten his shoelaces, a task he had taken for granted before the accident. His brows furrowed in concentration, lips pursed, determination shining through every movement. "I never thought I'd be so happy just to tie my own shoes," Jonathan remarked with a tired but genuine smile. Jessica chuckled softly, the warmth in her voice carrying a gentle tease. "Well, if you keep this up, you'll be running marathons soon. I'll have to find you a pair of sneakers." The room filled with quiet laughter, a rare but treasured sound that spoke volumes about the progress they had made. Elizabeth Whitman watched from the doorway, her eyes glistening with pride and affection. The woman who had once been distant and guarded now embraced her role as caretaker and partner with heartfelt sincerity. She approached Jonathan after his session, placing a comforting hand on his shoulder. "You've always been stubborn," she said softly, a smile touching her lips. "It's about time that stubbornness worked in your favor." Their relationship, once marred by distance and unspoken resentments, blossomed into a partnership grounded in mutual respect and love. The walls that had kept them apart crumbled under the weight of shared vulnerability and newfound hope. Yet, the journey was far from seamless. Difficult days punctuated their progress, moments when frustration threatened to overshadow hope. Jonathan's physical limitations were a constant source of anguish, and Elizabeth occasionally slipped back into old patterns of detachment, overwhelmed by the enormity of their challenges. During one such moment, after a grueling therapy session, Jonathan's anger boiled over. "I can't take this anymore," he confessed, voice raw. "I want to be the man I was before the man I was for you." Elizabeth's eyes softened, tears threatening to spill. "You are that man, Jonathan. Maybe not the same, but stronger in ways you don't yet see." Jessica stepped in, her presence a steadying force. Every step forward, no matter how small, is a victory. You're not alone in this. Together, they navigated the stormy seas of recovery, each member of the triad playing a vital role in the healing process. Amidst the personal triumphs and setbacks, the vision for the Whitman Neurological Rehabilitation Foundation took shape. What began as a hopeful idea blossomed into a tangible mission to offer others the chance at recovery and dignity that Jonathan had fought so hard to reclaim. Elizabeth took the lead on legal and financial matters, her keen mind ensuring the foundation's stability and growth. Jessica focused on clinical programs and outreach, drawing from her experiences to develop innovative therapies. Jonathan lent his voice and story, inspiring donors and patients alike with his unwavering spirit. The foundation quickly gained recognition, attracting support from medical professionals, philanthropists, and families touched by similar journeys. Its halls echoed with the sounds of healing and hope, a living testament to what can be achieved when science and compassion intertwine. On a personal note, Jessica's life flourished beyond the foundation. During a medical conference in Geneva, she met Daniel, an American neurosurgeon whose passion for advancing neurological care matched her own. Their collaboration blossomed into a deep, supportive partnership that enriched both their professional and personal lives. One evening, after a particularly rewarding day at the foundation, Daniel surprised Jessica with a quiet dinner under the stars. As they shared laughter and dreams, Jessica felt a profound sense of gratitude for the path that had led her here, from a young nurse stepping into an intimidating mansion to a leader shaping the future of neurorehabilitation. Years later, the Whitman family gathered in the estate's blooming gardens to celebrate Emma's 10th birthday, a milestone that symbolized not just the passage of time, but the triumph of love, dedication, and resilience. Emma, the spirited and compassionate daughter of Jonathan and Elizabeth, had become a beacon of hope herself. Her sensitivity to those with special needs and her burgeoning career in neuroscience research were testament to the legacy her family had built. As guests mingled beneath the colorful banners and balloons, Jessica watched Emma with pride and affection. The journey that had brought them here was etched in every smile, every tear, every shared moment of joy. Jonathan, holding Emma gently in his arms, raised a toast to the crowd. His voice trembled with emotion as he spoke. 2 years ago, I was lost in darkness, silent and unseen. Today, I stand before you, surrounded by family and friends, holding my daughter in my arms. This miracle is not mine alone. It belongs to the love of my wife Elizabeth, the tireless dedication of Jessica, and the support of all who believed when others had given up. The applause that followed was thunderous, echoing the hope that had transformed a once silent mansion into a sanctuary of life. Elizabeth took the floor next, her voice steady but filled with emotion. The journey wasn't easy. It tested our limits and our hearts. But through love, perseverance, and faith, we have built a family and a foundation that will continue to give hope to those who need it most. As the sun set, painting the sky with hues of orange and pink, Jessica reflected on the incredible path they had traveled together. From a nurse hired to care for a man trapped in silence to a godmother, leader, and friend, her life had been forever changed. In that moment, beneath the twilight sky, she knew their story was far from over. It was a legacy of hope that would inspire generations to come. The passage of time is often the quiet sculptor of our lives, shaping our experiences with the gentle persistence of seasons changing. 10 years had slipped by since Emma's vibrant 10th birthday celebration in the blooming gardens of the Whitman estate, a day filled with laughter, hope, and the promise of a future crafted from resilience and love. The estate itself had transformed into a symbol of healing and innovation. The once solemn mansion was now complemented by a modern, state-of-the-art foundation building, a beacon for neurological rehabilitation that attracted patients, researchers, and medical professionals from around the globe. It was a living testament to the extraordinary journey that had begun with Jessica Reed's decision to care for Jonathan Whitman when all others had given up. Jessica entered the foundation's sleek lobby one sunny spring morning, the energy of the place wrapping around her like a warm embrace. The hum of activity, the shuffle of papers, the murmur of conversations, the soft footsteps of patients and caregivers was a familiar and comforting soundtrack. Walls adorned with photographs chronicled the foundation's history, images of Jonathan's first steps, Jessica's early care sessions, and Emma's growing presence as a young advocate for neurorehabilitation. In her office, Jessica found a stack of correspondence waiting. Among the letters and reports lay an envelope of a different hue, a cream-colored invitation. With a smile, she opened it to reveal an invite to Emma's upcoming 20th birthday celebration. Time had flown, but the bonds forged over the years remained unbroken. Looking out the window at the bustling cityscape of Boston, Jessica allowed herself a moment of reflection. The journey from a young nurse stepping hesitantly into the Whitman mansion to a respected leader in her field was nothing short of miraculous. She thought of Jonathan, whose body bore the marks of his struggle, but whose spirit shone brighter than ever. Elizabeth, who had blossomed into a vibrant artist and advocate, her paintings a visual chronicle of their shared history. And Emma, whose compassion and brilliance promised to carry their legacy forward. As she gathered her things, a gentle knock interrupted her reverie. Dr. Harrison, now a seasoned consultant with streaks of gray framing his kind eyes, entered with a familiar spark. "Jessica," he said warmly, "there's a new case that might interest you. A patient with a condition similar to Jonathan's. I thought you'd want to take a look." Jessica nodded, her heart still eager for the challenges and opportunities that lay ahead. The work was never done, and the stories of hope and resilience were far from finished. Later that day, as Jessica walked through the gardens, she found Jonathan seated on a wooden bench beneath a sprawling oak. Time had been kind to him, bestowing wisdom and serenity that radiated from his gentle smile. "Good afternoon, Jessica," he greeted, his voice steady. "I was just thinking about you." She sat beside him, feeling the comforting weight of their friendship. "How was the board meeting?" "Incredible," Jonathan replied, eyes shining. "Our new research project on neural regeneration was unanimously approved. Elizabeth will be thrilled. She's already planning a series of paintings inspired by the theme." Jessica smiled, warmed by the thought of Elizabeth's flourishing creativity and the intertwining of art and science in their lives. Their conversation drifted to Emma, now a young woman whose presence filled the foundation with energy and hope. Jonathan's pride was palpable as he spoke of her accomplishments and her dedication to helping others. "Sometimes I wonder," he mused, "who inherited more from whom, her resilience or our determination?" Jessica nodded thoughtfully, the silence between them filled with shared understanding. As the sun began its descent, casting long shadows across the estate, Elizabeth appeared, carrying a large photo album. Her graceful presence brought a new light to the scene. "Here you are," she said, joining them on the bench. "I was going through some old things and thought you'd like to see these." Together they pored over the album, each photograph a window into their shared past, the trials, the triumphs, the moments of quiet joy. Images of Jonathan's early therapy sessions, Leo's faithful companionship, Elizabeth's first paintings, and Emma's childhood milestones wove a rich tapestry of their journey. Laughter and tears mingled as they reminisced, the weight of years balanced by the strength of their bond. Jessica marveled at how far they had come, from strangers bound by circumstance to a family forged in love and perseverance. Jonathan, his eyes bright with emotion, summed it up best. "Love, perseverance, and faith in the impossible can move mountains. We've learned that firsthand." Elizabeth squeezed Jessica's hand gently. "Family isn't defined by blood, but by the journeys we share and the love we give." As twilight painted the sky in shades of rose and gold, the three sat together, hands intertwined and hearts full. Their story, a testament to the power of hope, compassion, and unwavering dedication, was far from over. It lived on in every patient who found solace at the foundation, in every breakthrough made in their labs, and in the legacy they continued to build. Jessica looked out at the stars beginning to twinkle above, feeling a profound sense of peace. The journey had been long and arduous, but the light they had kindled would shine for generations to come. Under the vast Boston sky, their lives, once shattered by tragedy, were now a beacon of hope, proof that even in the darkest moments, miracles are possible when love leads the way. Years had etched their stories deep into the fabric of the Whitman estate, a place that had transformed from a symbol of isolation to a beacon of hope and renewal. Jessica Reed's footsteps echoed softly through the halls. She now knew intimately not as an outsider, but as a cornerstone of a family and a legacy she helped build. The foundation she had nurtured alongside Jonathan and Elizabeth had grown into an internationally respected institution, pioneering treatments and research that pushed the boundaries of neurorehabilitation. Patients traveled from distant corners of the world, seeking the light that the Whitman Foundation promised, proof that despair could be conquered with science, compassion, and unwavering faith. One bright spring morning, Jessica found herself navigating the bustling corridors of the Foundation's new research complex. The air buzzed with energy, doctors discussing breakthrough studies, therapists guiding patients through exercises, and volunteers offering smiles and support. It was a living, breathing testament to the extraordinary journey that had begun with a man lost in silence and a nurse's unyielding belief. Her office was a sanctuary amidst the organized chaos. Photographs of Jonathan's first steps, Emma's laughter-filled childhood moments, and Elizabeth's expressive artwork adorned the walls. Letters and reports piled neatly on her desk, awaiting her attention. Among them was a heartfelt invitation to Emma's upcoming doctoral defense, a milestone that embodied the family's commitment to knowledge and healing. As Jessica prepared for the day's meetings, a familiar voice called from the doorway. "Jessica," Dr. Harrison greeted, now sporting a distinguished gray beard, but with eyes still full of warmth and enthusiasm. "There's a new case, someone with a condition strikingly similar to Jonathan's. I thought you'd want to be involved." Jessica smiled, her heart still racing at the endless possibilities and challenges their work presented. "Lead the way," she replied, eager to embrace the next chapter. Later that afternoon, she joined Jonathan and Elizabeth in the estate's garden, a place now synonymous with renewal. Jonathan, seated comfortably in a wheelchair modified for his needs, wore a serene smile that spoke of wisdom and resilience. "Jessica," he said warmly, "I was just thinking about you." She settled beside him, the gentle rustle of leaves providing a soothing backdrop. "How's the board meeting going?" "Incredible," Jonathan replied, eyes twinkling. "Our proposal for the new neural regeneration project was unanimously approved. Elizabeth's already envisioning a series of paintings inspired by the research, art, and science intertwined." Their conversation drifted to Emma, whose own path had blossomed into neuroscience research and advocacy. Jonathan's pride was evident as he spoke of her dedication and compassion. "Sometimes I wonder who's inherited more the resilience or the determination." Jessica nodded, understanding the depth of the legacy they had cultivated. As the sun began to dip, Elizabeth appeared, carrying an old photo album filled with memories. Sitting together, they relived the journey, the moments of despair, the breakthroughs, the laughter, and tears. Each image told a story of transformation and hope. Jessica reflected on how the trio had evolved from strangers caught in tragedy to a family bound by love and shared purpose. Jonathan's words lingered in the air. "Love, perseverance, and faith in the impossible can move mountains." Elizabeth added softly, "Family isn't defined by blood, but by the journeys we share." The evening settled around them like a warm embrace as they sat united beneath the Boston sky, their story an enduring light in a world often shadowed by uncertainty. Jessica felt a profound peace, knowing that their legacy would continue to inspire countless lives, a testament to the miracles born from faith, dedication, and the human spirit's indomitable will. The years rolled on like a steady river, carrying the Whitman family and their foundation through the currents of change and growth. The once distant mansion, a place of solitude and despair, had blossomed into a hub of innovation, compassion, and relentless hope. Jessica Reed had become not just a nurse or leader, but a symbol of unwavering dedication, inspiring everyone around her. One crisp autumn morning, Jessica found herself walking through the bustling halls of the Whitman Neurological Rehabilitation Center, the scent of fresh paint and blooming flowers mingling with the soft murmur of hopeful voices. Patients and their families moved with renewed purpose, each step a testament to the transformative power of care and science intertwined. Her office, adorned with photographs capturing decades of progress and healing, was alive with reminders of their journey, Among the framed images were snapshots of Jonathan's first shaky steps, Elizabeth's vibrant artwork capturing their emotional odyssey, and Emma's smiling face, now a passionate neuroscientist herself, dedicated to pushing the boundaries of what was possible. As she settled into her desk, a soft knock at the door announced a visitor. Daniel, her husband and fellow neurologist, entered with a bright smile. Their partnership, forged through shared passion and mutual respect, had blossomed into a deep love that enriched both their lives professionally and personally. "Big day today?" Daniel asked, glancing at the stack of research proposals on her desk. "Always," Jessica replied with a laugh. "But that's why we do this, isn't it? To change lives, one step at a time." Later that afternoon, the family gathered in the sprawling gardens, now a sanctuary of peace and renewal. Jonathan, steadier and stronger with each passing year, sat comfortably in a custom wheelchair designed for his mobility. Elizabeth, radiant and serene, leaned gently on his shoulder, her artistic spirit flourishing alongside her renewed sense of purpose. Emma, now a confident young woman with her own research projects and a growing reputation in the neuroscience community, chatted animatedly about her latest discoveries. Her passion was infectious, a spark ignited by the family's collective resilience. Jessica watched them with a full heart, the journey from despair to hope etched deeply into their smiles and interactions. As the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of amber and rose, Jessica felt the familiar stirrings of gratitude and determination. Their story, born from tragedy and nurtured through love and perseverance, had grown into a legacy that would inspire generations. She thought back to that first day at the Whitman estate, the nervous steps through grand gates, the cold reception, and the silent figure she vowed to awaken. That journey had transformed her life in ways she could never have imagined. Now, as she prepared to lead the foundation into its next chapter, Jessica knew the path ahead would be filled with new challenges and opportunities. But armed with the strength of family, the power of hope, and the unyielding human spirit, there was nothing they could not face. Together, they would continue to write their story, a testament to the miracles born when love, science, and faith unite. The Whitman estate, now more vibrant than ever, was a testament to the remarkable journey of healing, hope, and transformation. The foundation's reputation had grown internationally, drawing patients and researchers alike who sought to be part of its inspiring story. Jessica Reed's name was synonymous with compassion and innovation, a beacon for those navigating the challenging path of neurological recovery. One chilly winter morning, Jessica stood at the window of her office, watching snowflakes drift lazily onto the sprawling gardens below. The serene beauty of the scene contrasted with the flurry of activity inside the foundation's walls. Teams of dedicated professionals hustled between consultations and therapy sessions, each driven by the shared goal of unlocking the mysteries of the human brain. The sound of soft footsteps brought Jessica back to the present. Jonathan Whitman, now in his early 70s, but with a spirit as indomitable as ever, entered the room. His steady gaze met hers, a silent acknowledgement of the bond forged through years of struggle and triumph. "Good morning, Jessica," he said warmly. "I was just thinking about you." She smiled, her heart swelling with affection and pride. "Good morning, Jonathan. Ready for today's meeting?" Jonathan nodded, settling into the chair across from her. "Absolutely. I have news that I think will excite you." As they delved into discussions about upcoming research initiatives and patient care innovations, the Foundation's trajectory continued upward. The integration of cutting-edge technology with compassionate care was yielding unprecedented results, offering hope to those once considered beyond help. Later that afternoon, Elizabeth joined them, her presence graceful and comforting. The woman who had once been guarded and distant now radiated warmth and strength. Her art had become a celebrated expression of the family's journey, inspiring many within and beyond the medical community. The trio's conversation naturally turned to Emma, whose own path was blossoming with promise. Now a respected neuroscientist, Emma was making strides in stem cell research and neuroplasticity, pushing boundaries that promised to revolutionize rehabilitation. Jessica listened with pride as Emma shared her latest findings, her enthusiasm infectious. We're on the cusp of something truly groundbreaking, Emma said, eyes shining with determination. The work we're doing here could redefine what's possible for patients worldwide. As the evening sun cast long shadows across the estate, the family gathered in the garden, a place that had witnessed their darkest moments and brightest triumphs. Together, they reflected on the extraordinary journey that had brought them here. Jonathan's voice was steady but filled with emotion. We started with nothing but hope and determination. Today, we have a legacy that will outlast us all. Elizabeth reached out, taking his hand. And it's a legacy built on love, perseverance, and the unwavering belief in second chances. Jessica felt a profound sense of peace as she looked at the family she had become part of, not by blood, but by shared trials and triumphs. Their story was far from over. It lived on in every patient who walked through the Foundation's doors, in every breakthrough made in their labs, and in the hearts of all who dared to hope. As stars began to twinkle above the Boston skyline, Jessica knew that the journey of healing and hope was eternal, a testament to the power of human connection, faith, and the miracles born from unwavering dedication. The winter had softened into early spring when Jessica found herself once again at the heart of the Whitman Foundation's bustling operations. The facility was alive with the hum of purpose and promise, a sanctuary where science met compassion, and miracles were quietly forged each day. The legacy of Jonathan, Elizabeth, and Emma echoed through the halls, inspiring every patient and caregiver who walked its corridors. Jessica's office was a quiet refuge amid the controlled chaos, a place where decisions that shaped futures were made. Photographs and mementos of the Whitman family's journey adorned the walls, reminders of the relentless hope and perseverance that had defined their path. Among these treasures was a framed photo of Jonathan taking his first hesitant steps after the accident, a testament to the power of faith and dedication. As she reviewed reports on the latest clinical trials, a knock at the door announced the arrival of Daniel, her husband, and fellow neurologist. Their partnership, both personal and professional, was a source of strength and joy, their shared vision fueling the Foundation's continued growth. "Big day today," Daniel remarked with a grin, glancing at the stack of documents on her desk. "Always," Jessica replied, her smile reflecting the satisfaction of a purpose-driven life. "But that's why we do this, to change lives, one step at a time." Later, the family gathered in the garden, a place that had witnessed countless moments of joy, struggle, and triumph. Jonathan, steadier and more vibrant with each passing year, sat comfortably in a wheelchair, tailored to his needs. Elizabeth, radiant and serene, leaned on his shoulder, her artistic spirit flourishing alongside her renewed sense of purpose. Emma, now a confident young woman making strides in neuroscience research, animatedly shared her latest findings. Her passion was a living legacy, a beacon for the future. Jessica watched them with a heart full of pride and gratitude. The journey from despair to hope was etched deeply into their smiles and interactions. As twilight painted the sky in hues of rose and gold, Jessica felt the familiar stirrings of determination. Their story, born from tragedy and nurtured through love, was far from over. The future held new challenges and opportunities, but armed with faith, family, and unyielding spirit, they were ready to face whatever came next. Together, they continued to write their story, a testament to the miracles born when love, science, and hope unite. The seasons cycled on, bringing with them the subtle changes of time and the enduring rhythms of life at the Whitman Foundation. Jessica Reed, now a figure of quiet authority and compassion, moved through the halls with purpose and grace. Her journey from a nervous young nurse to a visionary leader had been marked by challenges, heartbreaks, and triumphs, each one etching strength and wisdom into her character. One brisk autumn morning, Jessica sat in her office overlooking the Foundation's sprawling gardens. The trees, adorned in fiery hues of red and gold, whispered stories of resilience and renewal. The Foundation itself buzzed with the energy of patients making strides in their recovery, researchers pushing the boundaries of neuroscience, and families finding hope amid adversity. A soft knock interrupted her thoughts. Dr. Harrison entered, his seasoned face bright with excitement. "Jessica, we have an extraordinary opportunity," he announced. A groundbreaking study on neuroplasticity has just been approved. This could change everything for our patients. Jessica's eyes sparkled with anticipation. Let's get started immediately. This is the kind of breakthrough we've been working toward. Later that day, Jessica met with Jonathan and Elizabeth in the garden, a place that had become their sanctuary through years of transformation. Jonathan, his frame stronger and spirit unyielding, shared his vision for expanding the foundation's reach. "We've built something remarkable here," he said, voice steady and filled with conviction. "But there are so many more people out there who need us. It's time to take this global." Elizabeth nodded in agreement, her artistic eyes reflecting both passion and pragmatism. "We have the means and the mission. Let's make it happen." Emma, now a rising star in neuroscience research, joined them with the enthusiasm and insight of youth tempered by experience. "I've been collaborating with international teams. There's incredible potential to revolutionize rehabilitation worldwide." Together they strategized, their collective vision stretching beyond the walls of the Whitman estate to touch lives across continents. Amid their ambitious plans, Jessica found moments of quiet reflection. She often thought back to the early days, the first time she stepped into the Whitman mansion, the silent figure of Jonathan, and the icy gaze of Elizabeth. The journey had been arduous, but it had forged bonds stronger than blood and created a family defined by love, resilience, and hope. One evening, as the sun set in a blaze of amber and purple, Jessica sat with Jonathan and Elizabeth on the veranda. The sky above was a canvas of stars, each one a symbol of the countless lives their work had touched. Jonathan's voice broke the comfortable silence. "We started with nothing but hope. Today we have a legacy that will outlive us." Elizabeth reached for Jessica's hand. "And it's a legacy built on faith, perseverance, and the power of second chances." Jessica felt a deep sense of peace wash over her. Their story was far from over. It was a living testament to the miracles born when love, science, and unwavering dedication unite. As they sat together beneath the stars, the Whitman family knew that their journey would continue to inspire and transform lives for generations to come. The passage of time had woven its gentle threads through the Whitman estate, stitching together years of challenge, growth, and triumph into a tapestry rich with meaning. Jessica Reed stood at the center of this tapestry, a nurse-turned-visionary leader whose unwavering commitment had transformed lives and redefined hope. One crisp spring morning, Jessica found herself in the Foundation's bustling research wing, surrounded by the hum of innovation and discovery. The walls were alive with energy scientists discussing breakthrough studies, therapists guiding patients through exercises, and families sharing moments of joy and progress. Her office, a sanctuary amidst the controlled chaos, was adorned with photographs chronicling the Whitman family's journey. Images of Jonathan's first tentative steps, Elizabeth's vibrant paintings, and Emma's growing presence as a young neuroscientist filled the space with reminders of resilience and love. As Jessica reviewed the latest clinical trial reports, a soft knock heralded a visitor. Daniel, her husband and fellow neurologist, entered with a warm smile. Their partnership, both personal and professional, had been a source of strength and inspiration, their shared vision propelling the Foundation forward. "Another big day?" Daniel asked, noticing the stack of papers. "Always," Jessica replied, her smile tinged with the satisfaction of purpose. "But that's why we're here, to change lives, one breakthrough at a time." Later, the family gathered in the blooming gardens, a place steeped in memory and hope. Jonathan, steadier and more vibrant, sat comfortably in his wheelchair, his eyes alight with determination. Elizabeth, radiant and serene, leaned gently on his shoulder, her artistic spirit flourishing alongside their shared journey. Emma, now a confident and passionate young scientist, animatedly shared her latest discoveries in neural regeneration, her enthusiasm infectious. Jessica watched with pride as the family she had become part of thrived, their bonds forged in adversity and strengthened by love. As twilight descended, painting the sky in hues of rose and gold, Jessica felt the familiar stirrings of hope and determination. Their story, born from tragedy and nurtured through faith and perseverance, was far from over. The future held new challenges and opportunities, but armed with love, science, and unwavering spirit, they were ready to face whatever lay ahead. Together, they continued to write a legacy, a testament to the miracles born when humanity dares to believe in the impossible. The Whitman Foundation had grown beyond anyone's wildest dreams. What began as a small, determined effort to heal one man had blossomed into a global beacon of hope for countless patients struggling with neurological injuries. Jessica Reed's unwavering dedication had been the cornerstone of this transformation, but it was the collective strength of the Whitman family and their extended community that truly propelled the foundation to international acclaim. On a bright summer morning, Jessica stood on the terrace overlooking the foundation's gardens. The scent of blooming roses mingled with the crisp air, and the sound of children's laughter echoed softly through the grounds. Emma was leading a group of young patients in an interactive neuroscience workshop, her passion igniting the same spark of hope in them that had fueled her own journey. Jessica smiled as she watched the scene unfold. Emma's journey from the little girl who once sat quietly beside her recovering father to a confident young woman dedicated to advancing the field of neurorehabilitation was a living testament to the power of perseverance and love. Jonathan and Elizabeth joined Jessica on the terrace, their presence a comforting reminder of the family's unbreakable bond. Jonathan, despite the physical challenges that still lingered, radiated a quiet strength that inspired all who knew him. "Do you remember the early days?" Elizabeth asked, her eyes reflecting the golden sunlight. Jessica nodded, her gaze distant as memories flooded back. "I remember the silence, the uncertainty. But more than that, I remember the hope, that stubborn belief that change was possible." Jonathan chuckled softly. "And the first time I squeezed your hand, that moment changed everything." Their laughter mingled with the gentle breeze, a symphony of shared history and triumph. As the afternoon progressed, the Foundation's board convened in the modern conference hall. Discussions focused on expanding research collaborations, integrating cutting-edge technology, and increasing accessibility for patients worldwide. Jessica presented the latest findings on neuroplasticity, her voice steady but passionate. "Every breakthrough brings us closer to redefining what recovery means," she concluded. "But it's not just about science, it's about humanity, compassion, and the relentless pursuit of hope." The board members nodded in agreement, inspired by the vision that had guided the foundation from its inception. Later, Jessica and Daniel retreated to their shared office, a space filled with books, medical journals, and photographs capturing decades of progress. Their partnership had weathered countless challenges, their shared commitment a source of strength and solace. "Sometimes I wonder," Daniel mused, "how far we've come. From that first day at the Whitman mansion to now, it's been an incredible journey." Jessica smiled, reaching for his hand. "And it's just beginning. There's still so much to do." As night fell over Boston, the city lights twinkled like stars, mirroring the hope that burned brightly within the Whitman family and foundation. Their story, a testament to resilience, love, and the miracles born from unwavering dedication, continued to inspire countless lives around the world. Jessica looked out at the horizon, filled with gratitude and determination. No matter the challenges ahead, she knew they would face them together, guided by the same hope that had ignited their journey so many years ago. The winter months brought a quiet stillness to the Whitman estate, a time for reflection and renewal amid the backdrop of softly falling snow. Inside the Foundation's state-of-the-art research facility, however, the pulse of progress beat steadily on. Patients continued to defy expectations, breakthroughs in neurological therapies emerged, and the Whitman family's legacy grew ever stronger. Jessica Reed moved gracefully through the corridors, her presence a comforting anchor for patients and staff alike. She had become more than a nurse or leader. She was a symbol of hope, resilience, and unwavering dedication. Each day brought new challenges, but also new victories, small steps forward that collectively transformed lives. In her office, Jessica reviewed reports on the latest clinical trials, her mind racing with ideas and possibilities. Photographs of Jonathan's journey adorned the walls, images of determination etched into every line of his face, of Elizabeth's vibrant artwork capturing their shared story, and of Emma's radiant smile as she embraced her role as a pioneering neuroscientist. A gentle knock interrupted her concentration. Daniel, her husband and fellow neurologist, entered with a warm smile. Their partnership, both personal and professional, had become a source of strength and inspiration, their shared vision propelling the Foundation's mission forward. "Big day ahead?" Daniel asked, noticing the stack of documents. "Always," Jessica replied, her eyes shining with purpose. "But that's why we're here to change lives, one breakthrough at a time." Later that day, the family gathered in the Foundation's garden, a sanctuary where the past and future intertwined. Jonathan, steadier and more vibrant with each passing year, sat comfortably in a wheelchair designed to meet his needs. Elizabeth, radiant and serene, leaned gently on his shoulder, her artistic spirit flourishing alongside their shared journey. Emma, now a confident young woman making significant strides in neuroscience research, animatedly shared her latest findings. Her passion was infectious, a beacon for the next generation of healers and innovators. Jessica watched with pride and gratitude as the family she had become part of thrived, their bonds forged in adversity and strengthened by love. As twilight painted the sky in hues of rose and gold, Jessica felt the familiar stirrings of hope and determination. Their story, born from tragedy and nurtured through faith and perseverance, was far from over. The future held new challenges and opportunities, but armed with love, science, and unwavering spirit, they were ready to face whatever lay ahead. Together, they continued to write a legacy, a testament to the miracles born when humanity dares to believe in the impossible. Spring's gentle breath had returned to the Whitman estate, casting the gardens in vibrant shades of green and awakening the spirit of renewal that had long been a hallmark of their journey. Jessica Reed, ever the steadfast guardian of hope and healing, moved through the halls of the Foundation with a quiet confidence born of years of dedication and triumph. The Foundation itself had become a beacon not only of medical innovation, but also of human connection, a place where stories of struggle transformed into narratives of resilience and joy. Patients, families, and staff alike found solace within its walls, united by the shared pursuit of recovery and the promise of a better tomorrow. One radiant morning, Jessica stood in her office, surrounded by mementos of a journey that had reshaped countless lives. Photographs of Jonathan's early steps, Elizabeth's evocative paintings, and Emma's bright smile filled the space with warmth and inspiration. The latest research reports lay neatly on her desk, each one a testament to the relentless progress being made in neurological rehabilitation. A soft knock announced Daniel's arrival. Her husband and trusted partner in both life and work, Daniel's presence brought a sense of balance and strength. "Another milestone today?" he inquired with a knowing smile. Jessica nodded, her eyes alight with determination. "Every day brings new breakthroughs. We're closer than ever to redefining what's possible." Later, the family gathered in the garden, a place that had witnessed their darkest moments and brightest triumphs. Jonathan, now steadier and more vibrant, sat comfortably, his gaze filled with gratitude and resolve. Elizabeth, her artistic spirit flourishing, leaned gently on his shoulder, a silent pillar of support. Emma, a rising star in the world of neuroscience, shared her latest findings with infectious enthusiasm, her passion a living legacy of the family's enduring commitment to hope and healing. Jessica watched them with pride, her heart swelling with the knowledge that their story was one of transformation, not just of bodies, but of hearts and minds. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting the sky in hues of rose and gold, Jessica felt a profound sense of peace. Their journey, marked by faith, perseverance, and love, was far from over. The future beckoned with promise, and together they would continue to write a legacy that would inspire generations to come. The Whitman estate, bathed in the soft glow of a summer evening, stood as a silent witness to a story of resilience, hope, and transformation that spanned decades. Jessica Reed, whose journey from a hopeful young nurse to a visionary leader had been marked by unwavering dedication, moved through the familiar halls with a sense of fulfillment and purpose. The foundation she helped build had become a sanctuary for those seeking healing and a testament to the power of faith and perseverance. Patients arrived from around the world, drawn by the promise of breakthroughs and the warmth of a community that understood their struggles. One particularly radiant morning, Jessica found herself in the research wing, surrounded by the hum of innovation. Scientists, therapists, and caregivers collaborated seamlessly, their shared mission propelling them forward. The walls were adorned with images capturing the Whitman family's journey, the first steps, the art that told their story, and the faces of countless lives touched. Her office, a haven of quiet reflection, held photographs of Jonathan's steady progress, Elizabeth's vibrant creations, and Emma's bright, determined smile. As Jessica reviewed reports on the latest clinical trials, she felt the weight and wonder of the journey they had undertaken. A soft knock brought Daniel into the room, his presence a comforting reminder of the partnership that had sustained her. Their shared commitment to advancing neurorehabilitation was a beacon guiding them through challenges and triumphs alike. "Big day ahead?" Daniel asked, his eyes warm with encouragement. "Always," Jessica replied, a smile lighting her face. "But that's why we do this, to change lives, one discovery at a time." Later, in the garden that had witnessed their collective transformation, the family gathered. Jonathan, his frame stronger yet tempered by the trials he had faced, sat with Elizabeth by his side. The warmth between them spoke of love rekindled and bonds deepened through adversity. Emma, now a confident and passionate neuroscientist, shared her latest research with a spark of excitement that energized all who listened. Her dedication was a living continuation of the family's legacy, a promise that their work would endure and evolve. As the sun dipped low, casting golden hues over the estate, Jessica felt a profound sense of peace. Their story, one of struggle, hope, and unwavering faith, was far from finished. Together, they stood ready to face whatever challenges awaited, their hearts united by love and their spirits emboldened by the miracles they had witnessed. Under the vast expanse of the summer sky, the Whitman family continued to write a narrative of healing and hope, one that would inspire and transform lives for generations yet to come. The changing seasons had carried the Whitman family through a journey few could have imagined, a journey marked by trials, triumphs, and the unwavering belief in the impossible. Jessica Reed, standing at the heart of this saga, had become more than a nurse or leader. She was a symbol of hope, resilience, and transformative power. On a crisp autumn afternoon, the Foundation's gardens were alive with the rustling of leaves and the soft murmur of conversations filled with optimism. Jessica strolled through the grounds, her gaze lingering on the vibrant colors that mirrored the richness of their shared journey. The Foundation itself was a living testament to the power of faith, science, and compassion intertwined. Her thoughts were interrupted by the approach of Jonathan Whitman, his frame steady and eyes bright with the wisdom that only experience could bring. His presence was a comforting reminder of the man who had fought against silence and stillness to reclaim his life. "Jessica," he greeted warmly, "have you seen the latest research reports? The progress we're making is astounding." Jessica nodded, her heart swelling with pride. "It's incredible. Every breakthrough brings us closer to changing lives on a global scale." Elizabeth joined them shortly, her artistic spirit radiant as ever. She spoke passionately about upcoming exhibitions that would share their story through art, capturing the emotional depth of their journey for the world to see. Emma, now a rising star in neuroscience, arrived with the enthusiasm and insight of youth tempered by experience. Her research was pushing boundaries, exploring new frontiers in neural regeneration and rehabilitation. Together, the family discussed plans for expanding the Foundation's reach, integrating cutting-edge technologies, and fostering collaborations that transcended borders. As twilight deepened, painting the sky in hues of amber and violet, Jessica found a moment of quiet reflection. She thought back to the first day she stepped into the Whitman mansion, the uncertainty, the challenges, and the stubborn hope that had propelled her forward. Now, surrounded by a family forged in love and perseverance, she knew their story was far from over. It was a legacy that would continue to inspire and transform lives for generations. Under the vast expanse of the autumn sky, the Whitman family stood united, embodying the miracles born from faith, dedication, and the enduring power of human connection. The Whitman Foundation had long since transcended its humble beginnings, blossoming into an international symbol of hope, healing, and relentless determination. Jessica Reed moved through the halls with a sense of purpose that had only deepened over the years. Her journey from a young nurse stepping cautiously into the Whitman mansion to the visionary leader she was now had been marked by countless challenges and triumphs, each shaping her into the unwavering force of compassion and innovation she had become. One crisp winter morning, Jessica found herself in the research laboratory, surrounded by the hum of machines and the focused energy of scientists and clinicians dedicated to unlocking the mysteries of the human brain. The walls were adorned with photographs chronicling the Whitman family's journey, the first tentative steps of Jonathan's recovery, Elizabeth's vibrant artwork capturing their emotional odyssey, and Emma's radiant smile as she embraced her role as a rising neuroscientist. Her office, a sanctuary amid the controlled chaos, held the latest reports on groundbreaking clinical trials, each one a testament to the relentless progress being made. As Jessica reviewed the data, a gentle knock announced the arrival of Daniel, her husband and partner in both life and work. Their shared passion for advancing neurorehabilitation had been a source of strength and inspiration throughout the years. "Big day ahead?" Daniel asked, his eyes bright with anticipation. "Always," Jessica replied, a smile lighting her face. "But that's why we do this, to change lives, one discovery at a time." Later that afternoon, the family gathered in the garden, a place steeped in memory and hope. Jonathan, his frame stronger and spirit unyielding, sat comfortably, his gaze filled with gratitude and resolve. Elizabeth, her artistic soul thriving, leaned gently on his shoulder, a silent pillar of strength. Emma, now a confident young scientist, making significant strides in her field, shared her latest findings with a spark of excitement that energized all who listened. Her dedication was a living continuation of the family's legacy, a promise that their work would endure and evolve. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting golden hues over the estate, Jessica felt a profound sense of peace. Their story, one of struggle, hope, and unwavering faith, was far from finished. Together, they stood ready to face whatever challenges awaited, their hearts united by love and their spirits emboldened by the miracles they had witnessed. Under the vast expanse of the winter sky, the Whitman family continued to write a narrative of healing and hope, one that would inspire and transform lives for generations yet to come. The Whitman Foundation stood tall and proud, its halls echoing with the stories of countless lives, transformed by hope, science, and unwavering dedication. Jessica Reed, a woman whose journey had begun with a single act of compassion, now led this beacon of healing with grace and determination. The foundation had become more than a medical center. It was a sanctuary where miracles unfolded every day. One clear spring morning, Jessica walked through the gardens, the air fragrant with blooming flowers and the sound of birdsong. The landscape was alive with patients and their families, each person carrying their own story of struggle and triumph. The foundation had grown into a community, a family, bound not by blood, but by shared hope. Jessica paused to watch Emma, now a confident young neuroscientist, guiding a group of patients through an innovative therapy session. Emma's passion was evident in every gesture, every word, as she inspired those around her to believe in the possibility of recovery. Jonathan Whitman, despite the physical challenges that still lingered, radiated a quiet strength as he conversed with visitors, sharing his story to inspire hope in others. Elizabeth, her artistic talents flourishing, showcased a new series of paintings that captured the emotional depths of their journey, touching hearts far beyond the walls of the foundation. Later that day, the family gathered in the foundation's conference room for a strategic meeting. Discussions centered on expanding global outreach, integrating emerging technologies, and fostering collaborations with international institutions. Jessica presented the latest research findings, her voice steady and passionate. "Our work is far from over," she emphasized. "Every discovery, every success, brings us closer to changing lives worldwide." As evening descended, the family retreated to the estate's veranda, bathed in the soft glow of twilight. The sky was a canvas of deep purples and shimmering stars, a fitting backdrop for reflections on the journey that had brought them here. Jonathan's voice broke the serene silence. We started with a simple hope, a stubborn belief in the impossible. Today, we hold a legacy that will endure. Elizabeth reached for Jessica's hand, her eyes shining with gratitude. And it's a legacy built on love, perseverance, and the strength of the human spirit. Jessica felt a profound sense of peace and purpose. Their story, a testament to the miracles born from faith, science, and unwavering dedication, would continue to inspire generations. As the stars twinkled above Boston, the Whitman family stood united, ready to face the future with courage and hope, their hearts forever intertwined in a narrative of healing and transformation. The Whitman Foundation, now a shining beacon of hope and healing, had come to symbolize the extraordinary power of resilience, faith, and unwavering dedication. Jessica Reed, whose journey from a young nurse stepping cautiously into the Whitman mansion to a visionary leader had inspired countless lives, reflected on the path that had led them here. On a crisp autumn afternoon, Jessica found herself in the Foundation's state-of-the-art research center. The air buzzed with the energy of discovery and progress. Scientists and clinicians collaborated closely, their work pushing the boundaries of neurorehabilitation and transforming the lives of patients worldwide. Her office was adorned with photographs chronicling the Whitman family's journey, the tentative first steps of Jonathan's recovery. Elizabeth's evocative artwork capturing the emotional depth of their story, and Emma's radiant smile as she forged her own path in neuroscience. As Jessica reviewed the latest clinical reports, a soft knock at the door announced Daniel, her husband and partner in both life and work. Their shared vision and commitment had been a source of strength throughout their journey. "Big day ahead?" Daniel asked, his eyes bright with anticipation. "Always," Jessica replied, a smile lighting her face. "But that's why we do this, to change lives, one breakthrough at a time." Later, the family gathered in the Foundation's tranquil gardens. Jonathan, steadier and stronger than ever, sat comfortably, his gaze filled with gratitude and determination. Elizabeth, her artistic soul thriving, leaned gently on his shoulder, a pillar of strength and love. Emma, now a respected neuroscientist, making significant strides in her field, shared her latest research with infectious enthusiasm, her passion a living continuation of the family's legacy. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting golden hues over the estate, Jessica felt a profound sense of peace. Their story, one of struggle, hope, and unwavering faith, was far from finished. Together, they stood ready to face whatever challenges awaited, their hearts united by love, and their spirits emboldened by the miracles they had witnessed. Under the vast expanse of the autumn sky, the Whitman family continued to write a narrative of healing and hope, one that would inspire and transform lives for generations yet to come. The journey of the Whitman family and Foundation exemplifies the incredible power of hope, perseverance, and human connection. It teaches us that even in the face of overwhelming adversity, faith and unwavering dedication can ignite miracles. Love and compassion are as vital to healing as scientific innovation. Their story reminds us that transformation is possible at any stage of life when we refuse to give up and embrace second chances. For anyone facing challenges, it offers a powerful message. With belief and support, the impossible can become reality. As we gently close this chapter of our story, remember that every journey, no matter how grand or humble, holds moments of quiet strength and unexpected hope. Life's twists may not always be easy to navigate, but within them lies the seed of new beginnings. So, whenever you feel lost or overwhelmed, take a deep breath and know that you are not alone. There's always light waiting to find you, even in the darkest of times. If this story touched your heart, please like and subscribe to Stories TH for more stories that inspire and uplift. Don't forget to share where you're watching from and what time it is. Let's connect across the world, one story at a time. Now, as the last words softly fade, imagine this as a quiet conversation between friends. Close your eyes, breathe deeply, and carry this gentle hope with you into your day. Until next time, take care of yourself, quietly and kindly.